I'm gonna tell you what tools I would buy if I was starting off as a mechanic today. And it ain't gonna be no fucking Snap-on.
Oh yeah, this video is gonna piss a lot of people off. I can hear the comment section now. And it's gonna be similar to the path that I took, except that I'm gonna save you from the mistakes that I made, which is gonna save you a shit ton of money. So go ahead, tune in, let's go. Nothing against Snap-on, you see me wearing the hat. This was a custom made hat by one of the dealers that I was friends with, so I just bought it from him. I don't have anything against Snap-on. If I was starting out, like, this is the route I would go. This is not the best tools you could ever buy. These are the best tools you can buy for your money that'll get the job done. So let's start with sockets. Yes, when I started out, I wanted every socket that was ever known to man, but that's not always ideal. The first set is a 1/2 inch deep well impact socket set from Pittsburgh. This set does come in at $28.99. I've had them for years, about 4 years. I've had one break, my 21 millimeter, but other than that, I haven't had any issues. The one that did break, I just took it back, got it swapped out, no questions asked. That's the first set. And don't worry, I'm gonna add all this up for you, going the route that I recommend versus the route that you could get it from a Snap-on truck, just to give you a comparison on how much money you're gonna save that you can spend on yourself, your family, or your girl. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys think it's worth it to save the money or not. The second set is going to be a 1/4 inch deep well chrome socket set. The set that I have is not even Icon. I'm gonna recommend Icon. I've got some old Huskies that were given to me a long time ago. Honestly, you're not gonna put a lot of pressure on these. These are not gonna break on you. Just use them for what they're supposed to and you'll be fine. This set that I'm recommending from Icon comes in at $39.99. The third set I'm gonna recommend, these are Blue Power 1/4 inch impact swivels, and they're just great for anything under the hood. But having that swivel, being able to get around a corner, or just not have to worry about getting a direct shot on the socket or the bolt, is going to be very helpful. I've put these to the test. They did come in at $125 a few years ago. Worth spending the money on, so that's the third set. The fourth set that you will need is going to be a Torx bit socket set. This is a place where you can save money. I'm gonna recommend a Tecton set. Tecton's a real sleeper in the industry nowadays. The set comes in at $52.50. The only issue you may have if you break them is going to be getting them warrantied out. You're gonna have to send them in. Pretty good set. So that's the fourth set that you'll need. This will get you on to 95% of nuts, bolts, and studs that you encounter taking vehicles apart. That wraps up the 4 sets right there. For wrenches, I will admit it, Snap-on makes the best wrenches. They just don't slip. But that's not what I'm gonna recommend to you. I'm gonna recommend to you a gear wrench set. This is the same set that I had for years until the gears literally just started busting out in the ratcheting part. That's the reason I upgraded. When I did upgrade, I went to a Snap-on, but you can find this set on Amazon for $82.17. That'll get you from 8 millimeter all the way up to 19 millimeter. For your bigger wrenches, I'm going to recommend an Icon set coming in at $79.99. Same set that I have today. It does take you from 20 to 24 millimeter. If you need bigger wrenches than that, just start buying them individually. Wouldn't expect someone just starting out to have that. Me personally, for some reason, I bought these and I'll never need them. Not doing what I do. I have used them a couple times, but I just bought them to say I have the biggest wrench in the shop, so fuck off. Which is, believe it or not, pretty damn rewarding. So that'll wrap you up for wrenches. The next thing I'm gonna recommend is that we get 2 ratchets, a 1/4 inch hand ratchet and a 3/8 hand ratchet. Concept here is simple. If you ain't got a ratchet to break something loose by hand, a lot of times I like putting stuff in and tightening up valve cover bolts and stuff like that by hand. You're gonna need a ratchet. So get a 1/4 inch ratchet, get a 3/8 ratchet. The 2 ratchets I'm recommending are from Icon, coming in at $39.99 each. They'll get the job done for you. Next, you're gonna need all your adapters to go from a 1/4 inch ratchet up to a 3/8, from a 3/8 to a 1/2 inch, from a 1/2 inch to a 3/8. All your adapters to get from different drive sizes. The set that I'm gonna recommend is, again, a Pittsburgh. Guys, you're not gonna go crazy with this. You don't need something super expensive. I bet you the Snap-on set's $100. I'm gonna look it up. I'll put the price down below, but just get the Pittsburgh set. Get a cheap set to get you by, get you started. If you want to upgrade later on, feel free, but you probably never need that. All right, so now you're gonna need some extensions to be able to reach hard to reach places with your sockets. I bought one set of extensions. It's a 1/4 inch set. I will recommend it. It's from Gear Wrench. It was like $25. Other than that, all of my extensions are hand-me-downs. A lot of them were my dad's back in the day and stuff like that. So go to a pawn shop, get some cheap ones. If you're breaking extensions, you're fucking doing something wrong anyways. So just get some cheap extensions and you'll be ready to go. All right, now let's talk pliers. Honestly, Doyle makes good pliers. Go to Harbor Freight, get some Doyle pliers. The first set I'm gonna recommend is gonna be some regular slip joint pliers. I use them for everything, hose clamps to hold a nut that's on the other side of a bolt. You're gonna use them for a lot of shit. The best thing you're gonna need is some slip joint pliers. The second set you're gonna wanna get is a needle nose pliers. Get the regular size one, 6 or 8 inch pliers from Doyle, from Harbor Freight. The price is below, but the quality is very good for the price you're getting. Irwin vice grips. You're gonna need these Irwin vice grips. I wouldn't go anywhere else. It even says the original, like, just, these are like 3 years old, still work great durability. You are gonna want some side cutters. I have upgraded to Nip-X, but that was after I had a set of Doyle side cutters for years. Now, finally, I'm gonna recommend something from Snap-on. It is going to be a pair of snap ring pliers. Get the bigger set, this is not a set, but a pair. And this came in at like $44. That's the reason I bought it. I was like, wow. Main reason I would buy this is because they're reversible. So get those pliers to get you started. If you don't have anything else, if you don't have the rest of them, just be that guy. Be like, hey, I need this pair of pliers. Make a friend, and you guys can work together like that. After all, you are just getting started. It's not like you're gonna borrow their tools forever. Make sure that they know that. Make sure that you're willing to help them. Make sure you're bringing something to the table, but this is a temporary thing. If you borrow it, hey, the rule is go get it. The very next week, you get a paycheck, put some money in that toolbox. If they see you always putting tools in your toolbox, you'll be fine borrowing. It's the guys that never buy tools that always gotta borrow. Them are the ones that we don't wanna share, bro. Like, you ain't even trying to level up. Level your game up, you'll be fine. Next thing you will need is going to be some screwdrivers. The set that I'm going to recommend is also from Icon, coming in at $49.99. I bought this set a few years ago. The tips have been great on them. The handles, they have the extra jumbo size handles. They work great. Haven't had any issues, except that I always lose screwdrivers. Also, extra tip, if you have the extra money, I use my long Cornwell screwdrivers. They're like 24-inch flatheads all the time. If you want to add that will really help you a lot. Just as like a little mini skinny pry bar, lining bolts up, stuff like that. That'll be a screwdriver that I would recommend as well. I'll price that out below, and that'll get you squared away for screwdrivers. Then you're going to need a hook and pick set. Really, except for Snap-on, any set is going to be very affordable. For this one, I'm going to recommend the Icon set. It comes in at like $19.99, 20 bucks. It does do the same thing as any other set. You're going to have a lifetime warranty with it. If you want, you can go ahead and spend the $120 that Snap-on wants for the same hook and pick set. Sure, it's not exactly the same. It says Snap-on on it. So if you want to spend the extra $100, go ahead. But for me, and what I'm recommending that you start out with is a $20 hook and pick set that'll do all the same thing that the Snap-on will. That'll get you squared away for hook and pick set. Now, we all love to hit shit. I love hammers. But every time I get on the tool truck to price out hammers, I'm always like, for what, man? A hammer? I got all of my hammers at Harbor Freight except for one, and I don't know where the hell I got it. Maybe my dad gave it to me, but you're gonna want a 2-pound tapper, 1 4-pound sledge, 1 8-pound sledge, 1 2-pound brass hammer, and 1 rubber mallet. Gonna wrap you up for hammers. All wooden handles, just my preference, but since these are so cheap, I recommend getting all these out the way and you'll be set for your hammer situation. Pry bars. For pry bars, you're going to need at least one 3-foot pry bar that's 1 inch in diameter. And you're also going to want to get a medium-sized pry bar that's 12 to 18 inches for your smaller situations. Do not be like me and buy a $300 set of pry bars, because at the time you probably don't even fucking need that many pry bars. Just make sure they have the cap on the end of the handle so that you will be able to hit it with a hammer. It's going to come in handy. Those plastic handle ones that don't have the cap are not going to be nearly as useful as having that cap where you can use it as a striker. Go ahead and get the Icon jumbo pry bar. It's $100. For the smaller one, you can go to a pawn shop and get one for probably like $5. That'll wrap you up for pry bars. The next thing I'm going to recommend that you get is a 1/2 inch air impact.
I am recommending the Harbor Freight Earthquake XT. This is rated for 1,200 pounds. It's gonna get the job done. Is it what I personally have? No, I personally have the Milwaukee Electric Impact. That is going to be something that you upgrade to, not start out with. So get the 1/2-inch impact from Harbor Freight to get you started. Next thing is going to be a 1/4-inch Milwaukee ratchet. Get the extended neck. You will thank yourself a million times for having this tool. It comes in at $250 without a battery. If you get the kit, it's gonna be another $50 to $80 depending where you get it from. I listed the tool only because you may already have some M12 batteries. It's a great investment. You're going to need it. You're going to want it under the hood. If you are going to work flat rate, it is going to save you thousands of hours. The warranty, you get a 5-year warranty. So go ahead and get your 1/4-inch Milwaukee ratchet to help you take everything apart under the hood and help you get after and get those jobs done faster. The next thing I'm going to recommend to you is going to be 2 different kinds of flashlights. You do not have to spend a lot of money on these. I personally do have more expensive options, but just get yourself a headlight that's rechargeable. Yes, do I look ridiculous? Maybe. It saves me a lot of time not having to, position the light just perfectly to see what I'm working on. If I need to see something, boom, I turn it on. This Cornwell one comes with 1,000 lumens. I'm going to recommend it. $60. It has a 1-year warranty. It really gets the job done, but you don't need this one. You can get a cheaper one. I'll list a cheaper one below. It'll be hands-free. You can see everything that you need to see while you're working. The next thing I do have is going to be a flashlight. This is a Streamlight 2020 Stinger, but get yourself a good rechargeable flashlight. Make sure it's rechargeable. Make sure it's over 800 lumens. I really like these just for doing an inspection, brake inspections, just kind of looking a vehicle over. You're going to need a flashlight of some sort that you could just hold with your hand. I barely use it, but for inspections, they're great. Again, you're not going to need a snap-on flashlight. I had one for a while. They work great, but they're kind of expensive. Save yourself some money and get you a cheap handheld flashlight from Harbor Freight. And it is time to do the price comparison. So all the tools that I have recommended in this video to you come out to be a total of $13.50. Snap-on, if you were to go and get all of those tools in Snap-on, just Snap-on off the truck, the total would be $61.99. So that is almost $5,000 difference. With a tool set like this, you will be ready to succeed as a mechanic. If I had someone come in and start off and this is the kind of tool set that they had, I would be impressed. I wouldn't have an issue helping them. I would see that they're trying to grow. They would seem knowledgeable. So go ahead and follow this step-by-step guide if you want to level your game up as a mechanic if you're just starting out. Hopefully that helps you guys out. If I can save you guys $1 and just help you guys out getting started in this trade, it's not easy. By the way, if you're curious what a mechanic's salary actually looks like, I have a video on that too. The link is in the description below. Last thing I will share with you is do not get caught up in all these tools. Let me tell you, you could give me a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, and a basic set of wrenches, and I could get the same thing done. This is the most important tool that I have. Focus on this, and you'll get all that stuff, and it'll just make you better. But if you ain't got this, I could give the best tool set to an amateur mechanic. He's not gonna be able to do what I can do with a basic set of tools. Focus on this. This is your most important tool. Keep pushing. Y'all be good.